live. Sorry about
Yay.
that. I'm not sure what was going on. There were some
No
technical
worries.
difficulties.
Well, we still got them. Oh, here we go. All right.
Sorry, Facebook. You guys are a little behind. 3 minutes behind because there were some technical difficulties. Instagram was happening. Today I want to go over touching a little bit more on better foot mobility and ankle mobility. So for today, we're going to use a small band. If you need a chair or a wall, you can use that. I'm going to go ahead and use a stick just so I can kind of show you guys. So we've traditionally been doing our lateral ankle tilts, right? Stepping to the side, opening up the side of your foot. So right here is where we want that joint to open up, okay? All right, so on the side, you guys can see, this is where I want it to open up. So today, much like yesterday, we're going to use that band to help open that up a little bit. Because sometimes we need some feedback and some resistance to give us a little bit more awareness of how to get there, okay? So as usual, though, I like to just start off with a balance test, okay? So if you can do this, just see how it feels in your foot, right? See if you're struggling, like there, I just lost my balance as I'm trying to talk. Okay, see if it's easier, or just use this, I should say, as a baseline, just to see what improvements we're making. All right, but today we're actually going to use another assessment to see if we make improvement. Okay, so I want you to drop down on a knee. What I'm trying to measure is how far I can get my knee over or past my toes. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that. I'm trying to get my knee past my toes. Why is this important? Right, and we're going to talk about it in 3 different planes, but this is important for a lot of reasons. If you're lifting weights or you're squatting, right, and you have really tight ankles, that's going to cause you to kind of hinge or bow forward a little bit more and put a little bit more strain in your back. But if you're an athlete, you got to get up and move. Sometimes being able to push through that foot can be problematic and give you a lot of Achilles and ankle issues, okay? Because you won't be able to lock that foot down, and you'll be running and changing direction with this ankle up, and if you're applying a lot of force, and you try to go, you see how I can roll that foot? So you want to be able to change directions with that foot locked, but that requires what's called dorsiflexion, okay? So you can actually leverage and push and change direction. You don't want to shuffle, stop on your tippy toes, because if you're doing that super fast, it's easy to do this, and then boom, you roll an ankle, okay? That ain't cool. All right. So this is what we're trying to get to, okay? We're going to use all of these movements to try to open that up. Okay, so that would be your first assessment. Balance could be your second one if you like, okay? Okay, so clearly I got a band around my feet. Please point down my feet. Got my assistant here. All right, so shifting both your weight and stretching that band over that foot is what we're trying to do. We're trying to open that up. Like I said, we're trying to get this joint here to open, because when that's jammed, it's hard for your body to apply pressure and produce power. We're just going to hit that 10 times. I'm hearing all sorts of pops in my ankle, my foot. If this hurts, just go slow, okay? So you don't want to be doing this fast, and it looks dangerous for my foot, but considering I'm going slow and I'm under control, it's not going to damage my tissue.
Time under tension?
Time under tension, yes. So injuries typically happen. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides and face you guys. Injuries typically happen. You guys like my man freeze? Yeah, buddy.
Man freeze.
When your load or your speed happens too fast, right? We either do something too soon, too fast, too heavy, too often, right? So that's why I suggest you do this nice and slow. And like I said, if it hurts, just back off, right? I'm not here, or in person, I should say, to be able to help you to kind of control that. What you want to be sure, though, is you're not, see how I'm twisting that knee? I can twist my knee, keep my foot relatively still. You want to step out and rotate around your ankle, outside of your ankle, not your knee. Don't twist that knee and open it up, okay? So those are the lateral ankle tilts, all right? Now we're going to go ahead and get down and stretch the front, right here, the front of your foot, okay? So like you're striking a ball, if you're going to kick a ball, you need to be able to strike that ball, okay? So if you need a wall, a chair, something to hold on to, go ahead and grab it.
Would you like this orange stick?
I'm good. I'm actually okay. What I want you to realize is that this leg's staying straight, and I'm bending the opposite leg, right? Bending this leg, which goes back to why we need that dorsiflexion to be able to get that knee over our toes to begin with, right? Because if we're limited here, we're actually going to be affecting the other leg doing these drills. Okay, now I want you to hold it there and apply pressure with the front of your foot. So we're just going to hold just 10%, a little harder, 20, up to 30, 40, really push on that floor, ease off, and then see if that's a little bit easier, okay? Nice and easy. All right, so that's a big stretch. You can loosen that up if you need to. You can do some circles, okay? But we're going to go ahead and try that assessment
What
again.
circles?
Ankle circles.
Can you give me a visual?
Yes, the ankle circles. Loosen that up, okay?
Forward and backwards?
Well, clockwise, counterclockwise. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's see if that helped my range of motion at all, okay? So I can tell you now that it feels much better through the front of my ankle, okay? I don't have any restriction in my calf at the moment, which is good, but it does feel like I have more space or more room. It's a little bit less restrictive in the front here, okay?
Did your range of motion increase?
My range of motion is increasing, okay? It's getting easier. All right, so now we're going to do the same motion, but to the side, okay? So my foot stays, instead of being straight down, we're going to let that heel drop out to the side, okay?
See what a cameraman does, guys?
Yes.
That's why you have to take stick class in the morning and all this other stuff.
Okay, nice and easy. Now we're going to go ahead and apply that pressure. 10%, 20%, 30%, push, 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 and slowly back off. And give it another couple more bounces. There we go.
All right, bouncy, bouncy.
Okay, last one for the ankle to open it up. We're going to actually, you might want to stay there. We're going to position our toe in. So we're going to be stretching through the inside part of this foot, okay? Just be careful with your big toe. So this is what I don't want you to do. Don't jam that big toe. It's not going to feel good. Okay, let me scoot in for you, Facebook. So, oops, you guys can't see now. Right back up. All right, so your foot's going to be at an angle. Tuck that toe in and stretch the front of that foot. Nice and easy. Try to maintain your torso upright.
Keeping your posture.
Nice and tall posture. We don't want to be bending down, trying to look at what our foot's doing.
All right, go back to that
Okay.
foot. Thank you. Oh, nice. Look
Okay.
at that.
Now we're going to go ahead and hold and apply that pressure. 10%, 20,
Push, push, push.
and 30. Hold, 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 and then back up off of there. Okay?
And what is
So-
your core doing?
My posture is staying up tall. My core is keeping me from falling forward. Okay? So that's a nice stretch in the front here. Okay? So feet have to be pliable. They got to be like a big bag of bones. But when you need to stop or jump, they also need to be able to grip and maintain your. Sorry.
Bird feet.
Bird feet. Yes, you got to be able to put on the brakes so that you don't collapse and then have your knee buckle and then everything crumbles down. Okay. So we're gonna hit that with the left now. All right. So nice and tall. Your toes are pointing straight down. Okay. So you guys that are watching, it's straight. Okay. Straight down. Relatively straight. Not as good on my left side. More mobile on my right. That's where we work on these, right?
Scar tissue.
Battle wounds.
Battle wound.
Okay.
Right.
Now we're going to apply that pressure. 10%, and 20, and 30, and relax. Okay? Woo! All right.
What happened, buddy?
That's tight. Let's see how that feels going forward.
Okay.
Okay? So on this foot, it's a little tighter still here in the front. We'll see if it gets easier as I open up that foot. So it feels better in the front, still feels a little jammy here,
Jammy?
and I don't like it feeling jammy. Okay?
Does it make you feel like jelly?
No, jammy, not jelly.
Jammy? Like peanut butter and jammy?
All right.
All
Whoa.
right.
It's hard to look at the camera and see what you're doing. It really throws you off.
Why?
I don't know
That's not
why.
why you're making all those
I don't know why.
faces. Okay. All right. So look at that toe back in there. Oh yeah, buddy.
Okay, and then we're going to hold. After you do 10, just go ahead and hold. Apply that pressure. Try to keep that knee straight. Keep that torso upright. Posture
Jeez.
upright, okay? Jeez. All right, back off of there. Good. And then we're going to hit some nice ankle circles.
Counterclockwise and clockwise. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Which direction first? Talk to us.
We're going counterclockwise, excuse me. And then we're going... Oh, did you guys hear that? That was on the house. See what happens when you mobilize your feet?
Cracky, cracky.
All right. Okay. Now, for the last part, we're going to go and stretch the inside part of your foot, okay? Mobilize those ankles. Why? Because we want them to move, but you also want them to be strong, okay? Tuck that toe under. We need them to move, be mobile, but you also need to be able to stiffen them up when you go to stop, jump, cut, sprint, strike a ball.
What about somebody that doesn't play soccer? What about somebody that just like works out, does like maybe those, those like dance classes or whatever?
Dancers feet?
Not dancers feet, like an aerobics dance class or something, or people that just like to lift weight.
Either way, you still need your feet to move. If you're squatting, you still need to have that range of motion in your feet. If you're doing a squat, okay. If you're
like with heavy weight or whatever.
Heavy weight, or if you are changing direction, right? People that play basketball, tennis, right? A lot of this motion. Look at my foot; it still has to have that motion, so you can strike back or back pedal, right, and serve or whatever it is that you do. Ultimate frisbee is really popular now, right? So being able to stop on both sides and throw and back pedal. So all that happens, a lot of people don't realize how important your footwork is, right? If you don't have good footwork, it makes it much harder for you to get back and cover somebody or to get in front of somebody or create separation. So this applies to everybody, not just soccer players. Okay?
Okay, just checking.
Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, I got to check my assessment again, okay? So now we're going to go and see how this feels. So now this feels much better. Less restriction in the front. I don't feel a bony block.
Oh, I'm sorry, I what?
Bony block. It doesn't feel bone on bone. It feels like my joints move and articulate a little bit better. There's more space. It's a little bit better. There we go.
Block. Is this like a technical
a hard
term,
block?
Or is
a hard
this a
versus
Jose,
soft. Like if your calf is tight,
term?
that could be soft tissue restriction. But before I was feeling a jam in the front. So what I think did that was this. Okay, opening that up gets those joints to not be so jammed and so tight. All right. Moving along, we're going to try to now get stronger at our new end range, right? Because if you open things up and you have more mobility, you also have to learn to create stability there, okay? This is where your chair, your wall, I'm going to go ahead and use a stick for balance, is going to come in handy, okay? So if this were a wall, or a door frame, you can get in the door frame. What we're going to try to do here is get that knee to go over your foot. But we're going to stay here and hang out a little bit. We're going to apply some downward pressure on our knee. Okay? You could use a kettlebell or a dumbbell or whatever. I just like to use my upper body because it just makes it a little bit easier for me. I'm going to turn this way so Facebook doesn't feel neglected. Sorry, guys. I got a camera. Got a camera crew here today, so I'm taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I know. It's
and the labor is great.
All these people.
Okay, so without any body weight, we're just going to see if that stays and if it feels less restricted as it did before, and it does. It actually feels pretty good. I'm getting a little bit of a stretch back here in my lower calf.
Go ahead and stretch again. Let me give you an up-close visual. Nice.
Okay, so now what I want you to do is go forward, find that end range, and then I want you to apply downward pressure with your body weight. So you're going to hang out, push down,
Look up.
10%. 20% being made fun of as we speak on camera. Isn't that cool?
So
even Peanut Gallery.
All right, look, I got a shout out. Somebody that's gonna really benefit.
Hold there. So hold on with your shout out. Once you relax, once you hold that for 30%, you're gonna release.
And then fly.
And fly. Slowly come back. Okay. Go ahead, Peanut Gallery. Tell them what you're going to tell.
All right, Carlos Roberto, where are you at, buddy? This is all your piggies need this.
Carlos, my younger brother. He's not so little anymore.
He's
younger brother.
You, but he is younger.
You need to work
your feet need this.
Your feet are jacked, homie.
You need
All right,
this so bad.
pressing down. So press, press, press. Hold, hold, hold. 10%. A little harder. 20%.
Oh my.
30%. Hold, hold.
Facebook.
Gonna release, and then slowly come back. Okay.
All right.
And now we're just gonna glide back through there.
Good and again. Okay.
See how that feels. That is a lot smoother. Okay. So what I want you to do now, this last time, is we're gonna go forward, apply that downward pressure, and then at the very end, we're gonna push our toes into the ground without lifting our heel up. Okay. So we're gonna keep that heel down. Because remember, we're trying to strengthen those tissues and those tendons all the way through that end range, okay? So all the way down, as far as you can. Do a nice stretch.
Now your back heel slightly coming off the mat. Is that okay?
So this heel's down.
Well, it wasn't.
Press down. She's trying to call me out. You see what I got to put up with? I hire a camera crew, and now I got a peanut gallery.
That's because you're.
All right,
your
hold there.
rate sucks.
Okay. So now I'm just going to stabilize with my leg, or you can stabilize with the stick. But I want you to actually push your feet, push your toes into the mat. Push, 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 push. Hold it. 30%, 40%, because you should be feeling that tighten up through here. And then you slowly back off. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hit that other side.
Let's do it, Harry.
Okay. So from this side, this side's actually a little bit harder for me. Okay? We're all going to be.
Look at that foot coming up.
She's calling me out already. This is just a demo. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
All right, so trying to keep your heel down as best you can. Okay? Get into that stretch. It's for your balance. You see how I flip my foot back? That's just so I'm a little bit more balanced, okay? If your feet are sometimes in your leg is behind you, you can lose your balance. That's why I suggested you use a wall, okay? So we're going to go forward, find our end range where we get a nice stretch, and apply downward pressure.
Not quite sure.
20%, a little harder, get heavier, 30%.
Keep that foot on the floor.
Trying.
I keep lifting up.
Trying. Good. And then release. Hold.
Fly.
Fly back. Okay. I'm glad somebody's having fun. This is a lot better when there's somebody else here. When you're by yourself, it's a little lonely.
I like it.
You like being alone?
I do.
Wow, she likes being alone. I like to entertain, but it's easier when there's people here to make fun of you and call you out, and it's more entertaining. Looking at a peephole ain't that fun.
People doesn't talk.
I know.
It's nice.
30% down, hold, hold, hold. Release. And slowly come out of there.
Our house is getting
Okay.
crowded these days.
Now, we'll talk about that in a second. How you parents are dealing with your space, right? Everybody's invading your space.
Any human being.
All right, so now the last one, we're going to, after we put our pressure down, we're going to release, but press our toes into that mat or into the floor, okay? So here we go. Last time, forward, 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 press, hold, hold, hold. 30, all the way up to 30%. Release, stay there, you can balance if you need to. But now we're pressing our feet into the ground. Hold it, 10%,
Back heel, tight to the floor.
30%, hard, and slowly release. Good. So, going back to your assessment that we did earlier, okay? Let's just see if my balance or your balance got any better. It's a lot smoother, right? It's a lot smoother. Okay, my feet don't feel so locked up. They feel nice and pliable and mobile, but they also are helping me with my balance, okay? So it's hard when you move your hands around, okay?
But you're trying to fly.
No, I'm done fine. So that's much better, right? Much more stable. So that should be a very easy carryover for you if you're an athlete, if you're just an active person, to be able to get your ankles to respond and move a little bit better so that you don't beat your feet up. What am I doing? Staying still? So I'm being told to stand still like a statue. So if you're an athlete and you're moving, okay, you're going to make sure your feet can move just as well, okay? All right. Any questions, comments coming up? I can't see the screen.
I can.
I'm asking you a question. Are there any questions coming up or
No
comments?
question.
No questions. Okay. So next we're going to go to the hip in the groin. All right. So let's go back down to all fours. This is one of my favorite ways to open up your groin. Okay. Because your feet are often just a big extension of your hips. But being able to separate the two is hugely important, okay? This is where the movement portion of our class comes in, right? Sometimes it's mobilizing, which is fine. You gotta mobilize joints, you gotta mobilize tissue, but at the end of the day, you also have to be able to move, okay?
Jose's like half amphibian as well.
Sure. Well, again, I practice when I preach, right? I gotta move.
Mm-hmm.
So, come on this side so they can see. I'm
I
going
know,
to...
I was trying to give you a...
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and now that I've opened up my groin, I want to stabilize my glutes. Okay, so I'm going to try to lift that foot up off the ground. Be careful that you don't lift and twist. So you got to be really rigid with your arms and your core. So I don't want you collapsing, because if you collapse and do this, you're really not moving from your hip. You're just bending that elbow. Keeping that torso nice and still. Brace that core. And then just lift. Doesn't matter how high you get it, right? It's also the intent. Once you lift that foot up off the ground, this is not a conversation, but that's cool.
No.
This is going to be tightening your glutes. All right. Okay. Oh, wow. Good thing I'm paying you high dollar here. Gotta hold it.
Look how high he's going off the ground. So it's
Woo.
not very. It's like
Okay.
the length of his foot.
So most people, if this is new for you, you're going to struggle with this, okay? Even if you just break daylight, right? Get enough to get a credit card or a stack of cards to slide under, that's going to be work, okay? If you get a little bit of cramp, it's cool, it happens. We have to call that cramp city. You can beat that butt, okay? You can do some small circles, okay? All right. If you need that to be, if that's too tight in your hip, one of your tips you can do is slide your foot back away from you a little bit, okay? So rigid, brace, and lift off. This is also going to hit different fibers in your glutes, okay? Hold it, hold it. Let's hold for 5 more. Should be burning. It's burning me.
Do you need me to
Good.
hit your butt?
No, dear, we got to keep this PG. This girl's always trying to get me in trouble. I'm going to get banned from Instagram, okay? This ain't cool.
Show a body part or something.
All right. You want to go on that side so I can do my left?
Okay, I'd love to.
All right.
Okay.
So, let's just mobilize and get that hip to open up a little bit. This is also really healthy and good for your low back, okay? It's teaching you to hinge. Oh, you zoomed out of my butt. I appreciate that.
Well, it's pretty big. It has taken up a lot of the lens, but...
Wow, you guys hear that? See, if I said that, oh, man. Those would be fighting words. Sticks would be throwing at me. Whew. But that's cool. Double standards. I get it.
Oh, they've got a big butt. All right, now he's lifting that foot.
Breathing.
Maybe about like 6 inches off the mat.
Maybe. But man, that really does burn. So I advise you to go slow. If this hurts or you're cramping up or you're freaking out, first breathe. Second, go slower and go shorter, okay? So you don't have to go all the way up to the sky. But notice I'm keeping this elbow straight and my trunk is staying rigid.
So make sure, yes, you are breathing. He's breathing the entire time. Don't hold your breath. We're really into breathing in this house, in case you haven't noticed.
Yes. Given the circumstances, I would suggest you breathe to yourself, though. Okay?
Yeah, no exhale through the mouth.
All right, so now I'm going to lift, hold, and we're going to do a little bit of a circle, okay? Just to challenge those fibers a little bit more.
Let's see. Let's see what you got.
And then change direction. This doesn't burn your glutes.
Then you got glutes of steel.
And you got buns of steel, for real. That burns. Feels good, though. It doesn't hurt. Remember, the hip is a ball and socket, okay? So what's happening when I'm moving my femur is the pelvis is staying still, and that ball and socket is moving in a circle, okay? So this would be my knee. This is the head of the femur, okay? So as I'm doing that, this is rotating, right? usually life happens and we're upright in our feet and our femurs are still and our pelvis tends to move, right? So it's a combination of the ball moving and rotating, but the pelvis also moves with it, okay, to create that ball and socket, okay? So those are all very important things to do. Excuse me? Oh, got a thumbs up. I guess that was good. Facebook, I had not neglected, you saw it, but having a live camera crew person really kind of throws you off. What I was explaining was your femur, right? So the neck of your femur kind of looks shaped like this. Then you have your pelvis that sits inside that socket. When you're doing this rotation and changing direction and trying to run, that femur has to rotate over a pelvis. So your femur and your pelvis are going to move a little bit as you get into these athletic positions or you're changing directions, right? So it's important to not just train everything, up and down, if our activity demands that we do this, right? If we have to shift, or it doesn't have to be for athletes. You're asking with your question. Parents, I'm a parent. Sometimes I got to run after my kid, right? If I'm facing this way for a second and all of a sudden I have to go and stop them or do whatever it is, that looks fast. But if you look up,
going on, parent, hold on.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me turn you guys around. My mistake, Lynn. What's going on? Sorry about that. We're having a
You guys okay?
crisis in the house. That one, my camera crew just got tired and wanted to go in. I think it was the second one.
Okay.
But I hope that all makes sense to you guys regarding being athletic, being able to move in multiple directions to avoid wear and tear. The biggest thing with mobility and movement is that you don't wear down your joint over and over again, right? If all you do is cycle, if all you do is run, if all you do is the same patterns and same motions over and over again, sometimes you can get premature breakdown and wear down that joint, right? So you want to be able to mobilize and move those, but also have strength, okay? We're going to wrap this up in a second. I just wanted to show you how to do some mobility drills. Again, if you need a wall, you can go ahead and use a wall or a door frame, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do some figure 8 patterns with my hip. But I want you to notice I'm keeping my hand on my pelvis so that you can tell that I'm not spinning and rotating, okay? So you can use your wall, you can use your chair, coffee counter, or whatever. Table.
Coffee
Table.
counter.
Coffee counter.
I think coffee table's too.
Clearly, I need some coffee.
Dining room
Okay.
table.
So you guys see how I'm rotating that knee around in a figure 8? So that figure 8 pattern is this way, like an infinity sign, not this way, okay? Gotcha. Okay. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining me. It is my pleasure to be able to show you guys some of the things that I do day in and day out with my clients on a regular. Obviously now, we're a little isolated, right? But that doesn't mean I can't help you, right? If you guys need help with some questions or help with movement, or you're just not sure how to get better movement through some of your joints, I am happy to do a Instagram or Facebook interview with you. Doesn't matter. We can do Zoom, whatever's easier for you guys. It's also called or known as telehealth. So if you're having some issues with mobility, pain, discomfort, and you can't get anybody's hands on you, I can help coach you through a screen as we're doing now, and I can assess your gait. So I'm going to back up, okay? Just to stay on camera, right? I'm going to keep it short, but when we're doing this live in an interview, I can see, well, try this drill for your hip, or try this stretch for this, or whatever happens to be wherever you're having discomfort, okay? So I'm still fully operational, except no hands-on, okay? I can still help you through the screen. So if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and leave me a comment or DM me, and I will get you set up with that. On that note, see you guys later. Bye.